I walked in the room and they said, "Oh, are you the court reporter?" And it's like, oh, okay. Same thing. I'm not in Kansas anymore.
And go and seek your network.
You need to understand your personal values.
Say yes if you can.
If you can't see it, you can't be it.
This panel of distinguished leaders shared their candid views on mentoring and achieving key leadership roles in today's workforce, and how they too overcame challenges many of us face today or have faced.
You have to balance your personal values and those choices of having a career and having a family too. I had a family very young before I really knew better. I just thought I could do it all. I got my master's degree at the same time. I had an infant, I worked full time and was getting my master's degree. I honestly didn't know any better.
Men ascribe position and authority with the size of their office. And this was a complete revelation to me. And because I had just gone from being a project manager to being an operations manager, where now I had 18 projects in the former Soviet Union reporting to me. And the office manager had come by. I was in this little interior office where you had to have a fan and no windows, and he said, do you want a bigger office? And I said, no, I'm fine where I'm at. Well, I read this in this book and I went, geez, I better get a bigger office. So I came in the next week and I told him, yeah, no, I think I better move offices. And I think there was some little truth in that psychology. For me, that was probably a pretty good piece of advice, and I made a very big step in my career. I think not just because I had a bigger office. I think I was doing the job pretty well too, but.
This generation of women coming up have less and less of that. I think they're going to face, just because there's so many more women in the workforce doing amazing things. I think the challenge in people getting up to the highest levels is really the work-life balance. And I think, at least in law, that was one of the biggest reasons that women sort of dropped out before they made, like, managing partner of a law firm, was just the number of hours they had to devote really meant they had to sacrifice their family life.
Sorry, men. You guys go into things thinking, I can do this. I don't need to have the experience to do it. I can get on-the-job training. I've got this covered. Women say, I think I need to take more classes, or I don't know if I'm ready for this. We self-doubt, and we assume that we have to check all the boxes before we enter a particular position, whereas the guys go in and say, I got 2 out of 12, I'm good.
The workforce of Hanford is proud to support diversity and inclusion across several federal agencies and prime contractors, and we are honored by the support of Senator Patty Murray.
Although I am unable to attend this event, I want you to know that I am with you in spirit as you engage in the dialogue to mentor young people as they embark upon the beginning of their careers. I applaud the efforts of this panel to bridge the generational gap amongst women currently excelling in their career and those starting out. As a parent, a former educator, and a public servant, I share in your commitment to empower and develop future leaders. As the first female U.S. Senator for Washington State, I know firsthand how important mentorship is to opening doors for women to enter traditionally male-dominated careers. I have worked hard in the United States Senate to support programs to make career development more accessible to women in Washington State and throughout the nation. Please accept my best wishes for an enjoyable and successful event. Sincerely, Senator Patty Murray.
In alignment with Senator Murray, we too are proud to bridge the generational gap amongst women.
I actually have taken steps backward in pay and whatever, but I never thought of them as setbacks, and I've always just tried to learn from them. And so, for instance, 3 years into my legal career, I was fried. I was really burnt out. I'd billed the most hours of any associate at my firm, and I had worked on a lot of things, and I was just fried. And this opportunity sort of landed in my lap to take a job teaching undergraduates political science for a year. And I thought, well, that sounds like fun. And so I just kind of went and did it and didn't think about the fact that I was cutting my salary in half, and, took an extra job being a barista at Starbucks for a while. And, and a lot of people are like, oh my God, you're off the career trajectory. But I actually learned a lot. It was the first job where instead of somebody giving me an assignment and I would trundle off and do it, it was sort of my world. I guess rather than talk about setbacks, I just encourage people not to think of them as setbacks, or just at another stage and something you can learn from.
I think it's important for us to figure out what our goals are, be clear and concise on your goals, and go and seek your network. and develop it. And it's all about relationships. That's really what it's about in the end. So find what you seek and surround yourself with those people. And I challenge you to basically step out of what's comfortable and go ahead and basically make it happen for yourself.
Today, our workforce has taken a significant step forward in bridging relations and preparing for the next generation while learning from the past.
I'm looking for boomerang employees. I want my employees that leave my organization and go to a different organization to come back with that experience level and be able to contribute in that way. So I think, and this kind of goes to the work-life balance thing too, we have to figure out how to do telework better. We have to figure out how to do flex time. We have to figure out how to do job sharing to keep people motivated.
We still carry some of those traits of a loyalty to the workplace and a desire for those similar things as baby boomers. When you look at the millennials and the Generation Yers, they're back into the teaming, but there is no understanding of loyalty to employer or loyalty to workplace, and they're certainly not counting on a pension because they shouldn't. What they're looking for is flex place, flex time. Tell me what my job is, and I will go do my job, but don't tell me how to do it and where I have to perform it and with what tools I need to perform that job. We need to attract a workforce in all of those age categories, and you need to understand, just as Joyce said, you need to understand what's important to them and that we have the flexibility to provide those and hit on those chords that hit those personal values.
I'm usually the one woman in the room with a table of 10 men around the table. So I'm very comfortable with that. Quite honestly, this is a very frightening room. There's more women in here than I'm comfortable with. I just tell you. But and the other thing I got to say, because I know I'm the odd duck up here, ladies, I really think that we need to work on ourselves. Women are not very supportive to women, in my experience. And by God, if we figure this out and we can figure out how to support each other as sisters, watch out. But right now, I don't see it.
Say yes if you can. And we need people to go where the work is to accomplish it. And so within my organization, the power of being able to say, yes, I can go and do that assignment has been pretty successful. And could not have done it without, like Diane, my husband has been a complete partner in raising our boys. And the illustrative anecdote that I always give for that is, working on a proposal when our oldest son was about 3 years old. It was actually a 255, 254 submission that was due, had to be postmarked on Christmas Eve. And as the staff began to wander away on Christmas Eve, I called home at about 8 o'clock in tears, saying, I don't know when I'm going to be home. And my husband, who's a former Marine, said, Peg, mission before men. Brendan is 3 years old. He won't know the difference. Christmas is going to start when you get here. 30 years, I never doubted that I could do a position. That's the mindset that you need to change, is if it's presented, if you can do it, go and do it. And the organization will support you to be successful.
And I'm the lone duck that still wants to fly. For me, it's a whole life-work balance. Right now, I want to make the decisions that are best for my family, but ultimately, one day I too shall fly.
And together we are flying, because together we are stronger.